Hello, my fellow kinder teachers. It's me from the teacher next door, and I am so excited to share with you 25 must-have read-aloud books for your kindergarten classroom. I chose these books based on the best of the best. These are books that I used to read aloud in my own kindergarten class every single day. They have engaging stories, great illustrations, wonderful themes, and they're perfect for reading aloud to your kindergarten students. I promise, once you read these books to your kiddos, they will become instant favorites just like they were in my classroom, and I have made it super easy for you. All of the books in this list are linked down below in the description box for easy shopping. The first book on our list is The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carroll. This book has everything that we love: amazing illustrations, a fun story, and lots of opportunities to interact with our students, such as when the caterpillar munches through all of those yummy foods. No, 2 is Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. This is one of our absolute favorite books to read aloud, and it's a great way to help your students learn their ABCs. We love to dance and wiggle while reading this book, because all of those letters are just getting so excited to climb up the coconut tree. Next is Brown Bear. Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carroll. This book is great for learning colors and animals. Plus, my students always loved the interactive elements where they would tell me what they see. If you're looking for an awesome book about friendship, then look no further than The Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfister. Not only is this book beautifully illustrated, but the message of sharing and kindness is an important one that children need to hear again and again. We love the different versions of this book, including the newest version with the flaps. Next is Chasing Rainbows by Karen Beaumont. This book is so much fun to read aloud, and your students will love joining in on the rhyming phrases. It's also a great way to talk about feelings and how to control them. Book No. 6 is Corduroy by Don Freeman. My students absolutely adored this sweet story about a teddy bear who is missing a button. This is a great book to read aloud because it has such a soothing rhythm to it. The next 2 books are by author Kevin Hanks. The first one is Chrysanthemum. This is a lovely story about a little mouse named Chrysanthemum who learns to love her name despite the teasing of her classmates. The illustrations are so cute, and it's a great book to start conversations about feelings and empathy. The second book by Kevin Hanks is called Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. This is a hilarious story about a little girl who brings a purple plastic purse to school and promptly gets in trouble for using it as a noisemaker. The illustrations are so funny, and your students will love hearing about all of the ways that Lily's purse makes noise throughout the day. Alright, moving right along to The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. This book is a classic for a reason. It's a beautiful story about the unconditional love between a boy and a tree. It's a great book to read aloud because of its poetic language, and it also opens up lots of great conversations. Next is Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. Who doesn't love a good Dr. Seuss book? This one is especially fun to read aloud because of all of the silly rhymes and words. Your students will love listening to you read this one. Okay, book number 10 is Have You Filled a Bucket Today? A Guide to Daily Happiness by Carol McLeod. This is a wonderful book for helping children understand how to treat others with kindness and respect. It's also a great way to teach students about emotions and how they can affect those around them. Number 11 is How Do Dinosaurs Say Goodnight? By Jane Yolen. This hilarious story follows a young dinosaur who refuses to go to sleep despite his mother's best efforts to get him to do so. This is a fun book to read aloud, and it's also a great way to talk about bedtime routines. Okay, moving on to If You Give a Mouse a Cookie by Laura Numeroff. This is a hilarious story about the chaos that ensues when you give a mouse a cookie. This is a great book to read aloud because of all of the repetition and the silly illustrations. The next 2 books are by author Sandra Boynton. The first one is Barnyard Dance. This is a super fun book to read aloud, and it includes actions that your students will love to perform along with you. So get ready to moo, oink, and quack, along with the animals on the farm. The second book by Sandra Boynton is called Hippos Go Here. This is a silly story about a group of hippos who take a field trip to the river. The illustrations are so funny, and your students will love listening to you read this one. Next is I Want My Hat Back by John Klassen. This is a wonderfully written story about a bear who goes in search of his lost hat. It's a great book to read aloud because of its mysterious tone, and the illustrations are simply stunning. Now let's move on to Jabari Jumps by Gaia Cornwall. This is a beautiful story about a young boy who is afraid to go down the water slide until he meets a friendly frog who encourages him to try. This is a great book to read aloud because it has a strong message about facing your fears and trying new things. Okay. Book number 16 is Just a Minute by Yuyi Morales. This is a hilarious story about a young boy who tries to complete a series of simple tasks in just 1 minute. It's a great book to read aloud because of the fast-paced writing and the silly illustrations. No. 17 is Last Stop on Market Street by Matt De La Pena. This heartwarming story follows a boy and his grandmother as they ride the bus around town. It's a great book to read aloud because it celebrates the beauty of everyday life. The next two books are by author Patrick McDonnell. The first one is Pad Thai. This hilarious story follows a group of animal friends as they prepare a traditional Thai meal together. The illustrations are so colorful and your students will love listening to you read this one. The second book by Patrick McDonnell is called The Very Impatient Caterpillar. This is a fun twist on the classic story of the very hungry caterpillar. And it's a great way to teach students about patience. Okay, book number 19 is Pete the Cat. I Love My White Shoes by James Dean. This upbeat story follows a cat whose shoes get dirty no matter how hard he tries to keep them clean. It's a great book to read aloud because it has a positive message about self-acceptance. The next three books are by author and illustrator Oliver Jeffers. The first one is A Bad Case of Stripes. This is a delightful story about a zebra who wakes up one morning with stripes. It's a great book to read aloud because it teaches students about individuality and self-expression. The second book by Oliver Jeffers is How to Catch a Star. This whimsical story follows a young boy who tries to catch a star in a jar. It's a great book to read aloud because it sparks imagination and wonder. The third book by Oliver Jeffers is Lost and Found. This heartwarming story is about a boy who finds a penguin and takes care of him until he can be returned to his home. It's a great book to read aloud because it teaches students about compassion and friendship. Let's move on to The Paper Bag Princess by Robert Moonshay. This is a humorous story about a princess who rescues a prince from a dragon. It's a great book to read aloud because it subverts traditional fairy tale expectations and it also empowers young readers. Next is The Story of Bobber by Jean de Brunhoff. This classic children's story follows Bobber the elephant as he goes on an adventure to the city. It's a great book to read aloud because it has wonderful illustrations and a timeless message about family and belonging. The next two books are by author Tummy DePaula. The first one is The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. This is a Native American folktale about a girl who discovers how to make paint from the petals of a special flower. It's a great book to read aloud because it teaches students about nature and respect for elders. The second book by Tummy DePaula is Strega Nona by Tummy DePaula. This hilarious story follows a witch who is constantly bothered by her lazy brother. It's a great book to read aloud because of the silly illustrations and the playful tone. And last but not least is Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. This is a classic children's story about a boy who sails away to an island inhabited by wild things. It's a great book to read aloud because it explores themes of childhood, imagination, and adventure. I hope you enjoyed this list of 25 must-have read-aloud books for your kindergarten classroom. If you're looking for more read-aloud book lists, be sure to check out my other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading!